Look, at some point, you have to stop pointing fingers. Life is hard for everyone. We all have obstacles. We all have pain. But blaming your parents, your boss, your circumstances, your friends, none of that is going to change your situation. It might feel good in the moment to say, it's not my fault, but that mindset keeps you stuck. You're not going to grow if you keep making excuses. Excuses are lies we tell ourselves so we can stay comfortable. But comfort is the enemy of progress. If you want to go to the next level, you have to take responsibility for your life. Every setback, every mistake, every failure, own it. When you own it, you can change it. Maybe you didn't grow up with much. Maybe someone walked out on you. Maybe you were treated unfairly. But so what? That's the hand you were dealt. Now what are you going to do about it? You don't control what happened to you, but you do control how you respond. And that's where your power is. Stop waiting for someone to rescue you. No one is coming. You are the solution to your own problem. Stop saying, if only they would help me, or if only I had a better situation. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need a made-up mind. You need to decide right now that you're not going to let your past determine your future. The moment you take full ownership of your life, everything changes. You get stronger. You get focused. You stop wasting time on blame and start using that energy to build. You stop looking for excuses and start looking for solutions. And when you do that, the world opens up to you. So today, make the decision, no more blame. No more excuses. It's on you, and that's not a burden. It's a blessing, because if it's on you, then you have the power to change everything. Blaming others is one of the most common ways people avoid dealing with the truth. It's easy to say, it's not my fault, or they did this to me. But what does that really accomplish? It might make you feel better for a moment, but it does nothing to move you forward. When you spend your time pointing fingers at others, your parents, your boss, your partner, your teachers, you're giving away your power. You're saying, I can't do better until they do better. And that's a dangerous place to live from. The truth is, life is unfair. Bad things happen to good people. Some people start with more and others start with less, but blame never fixes any of it. Blame keeps you in the past. It keeps you focused on what went wrong instead of what can go right. Every second you spend blaming is a second you're not building. It's a second you're not healing. It's a second you're not improving your situation. People who succeed, who truly rise above, are not the ones who had perfect lives or no problems. They're the ones who decided they were done blaming others. They took what they had, no matter how broken or difficult, and they started working with it. They stopped saying, why me, and started asking, what now? That shift in mindset is everything. Because when you stop blaming, you start owning, and when you start owning, you take back control. It doesn't mean that what happened to you wasn't wrong. It doesn't mean the pain wasn't real. What it means is that you're no longer willing to let those things define your next steps. You're choosing to take control of what you can control. Your attitude, your actions, your mindset, your grind. That's where real freedom begins. So think about it. How much time have you wasted blaming others for where you are right now? And what would happen if you used that same energy to push yourself forward instead? You can either stay stuck in the story of what they did, or you can write a new one about what you're going to do. But you can't do both. You can't move forward and stay a victim at the same time. When you stop blaming others, you start to see clearly. You realize that you have more control than you thought. You realize that your life can be different, but only if you are willing to be different. And that change begins the moment you stop blaming everyone else. Taking full responsibility for your life is one of the hardest things to do, but it's also one of the most powerful. It means no more hiding behind excuses. No more saying, it's because of them, or it's not my fault. When you take full responsibility, you are saying, no matter what happens, I own my choices, my actions, and my responses. That mindset separates people who succeed from those who stay stuck. It's tempting to believe that life is happening asterisk to asterisk you, that you're just a product of your environment, your upbringing, or your circumstances, but if you keep thinking that way, you'll always be waiting for someone to give you permission for the right time, for the perfect conditions. And that wait never ends. Taking responsibility isn't about guilt or shame, it's about power. It's about saying, I might not control everything, but I control how I show up every day. When you start owning your life, everything changes. You stop blaming the teacher for your grade, and you start studying harder. You stop blaming your manager for not promoting you, and you start improving your performance. You stop blaming your situation, and you begin asking, what can I do right now with what I have? That shift from external blame to internal accountability unlocks growth. It's not always comfortable to admit when you've fallen short. It hurts to say, I could have done more, or I made that mistake. But in that moment of truth, you create an opportunity to learn and improve. You take your power back from the things you used to blame. You start focusing on what's within your control, instead of wasting energy on things that aren't. Some people spend their whole lives blaming the past. They talk about what their parents didn't do, what school didn't teach them, or what society didn't provide, but responsibility says, regardless of all that, I'm still going to find a way. It's not about ignoring the obstacles, it's about refusing to let them win. Life doesn't hand success to anyone. You have to take it, and you can only take it when you take full ownership of where you are and where you're going. When you live with responsibility, you become unstoppable. You stop waiting for someone to fix your life because you realize that you have everything you need to build it yourself. You begin to believe in your ability to overcome, to grow, and to lead. And most importantly, you stop living in reaction to the world and start creating your place in it. Excuses are easy to make but incredibly costly. They give you a temporary escape from discomfort, but in the long run they rob you of growth, progress, and success. Every time you say, I can't because, or I would, but, you're building a wall between yourself and your potential. Excuses are comforting because they make failure feel like it's not your fault. But the harsh truth is, as long as you keep making excuses, you're choosing to stay stuck. We all do it sometimes. I'm too tired. I don't have the resources. No one's supporting me. I wasn't born into the right family. But every excuse is a brick in the prison that keeps you from the life you want. Excuses are lies, lies that you start to believe after repeating them long enough, lies that protect your ego but poison your progress. You begin to feel like a victim instead of a fighter, like someone who waits for opportunities instead of someone who creates them. Successful people, people who rise from nothing, who overcome, who thrive in hard times, they don't live in excuse mode. They don't say, I can't. They say, how can I? They find a way. They take the same problems everyone else complains about and use them as fuel. They understand that making excuses might feel good for a moment, but taking action, even messy, imperfect action, actually changes things. You see, excuses are clever. They disguise themselves as logic. They sound reasonable. I'm not ready yet. It's just not the right time. I'm too old. I'm too young. But none of those excuses are facts. They're just fear dressed up as reason, and the longer you entertain them, the longer you stay exactly where you are. Growth demands that you leave your comfort zone, and excuses are the security blanket of the comfort zone. They keep you from trying, from risking, from putting yourself out there. But what you don't realize is that they also keep you from succeeding. If you want change, real change, you have to stop protecting yourself with excuses and start challenging yourself with effort. Think about what you want in life, the career, the health, the peace, the freedom. None of it is coming to you if you keep hiding behind why you can't. What if instead of listing reasons something is impossible, you started listing reasons you must do it? What if you replaced every excuse with a commitment? Excuses don't build dreams. Action does, courage does, discipline does, even failure, when you take responsibility for it, moves you forward. But excuses, they keep you spinning in circles, wasting your talent and time. If you're serious about growing, succeeding, and living with purpose, it starts with a decision. No more excuses. You don't need perfect circumstances. You need a decision, a plan, and relentless effort. And that begins the moment you stop lying to yourself and start showing up for yourself. You can't always control what happens to you in life, but you can always control how you respond. That single truth is one of the most powerful tools you will ever have. It separates people who grow stronger through adversity from those who crumble under it. Life is unpredictable. There will be setbacks, losses, pain, and unfair situations. But your response to those moments determines your future more than the events themselves ever could. Too often, people believe they are powerless because something bad happened. Maybe someone left them, maybe they were mistreated, maybe they failed despite trying their best. But power isn't in what happens, it's in what you do next. You can let pain define you, or you can let it shape you into something stronger. You can let rejection break you, or you can use it as fuel to level up. The choice is always yours, even when it feels like everything is out of your hands. That doesn't mean you have to pretend everything is okay. It's normal to feel pain, frustration, or anger, but the question is, how long are you going to sit in that space? How long are you going to let your emotions run your life? You have to feel it, but then you have to face it, and after that you must decide, what do I do now? When you shift your focus from what you can't control to what you can, you start to take back your power. You can't control what someone said about you, but you can control whether you let it stop you. You can't control a global crisis, but you can control whether you give up or adapt. You can't control whether people support your dream, but you can control whether you grind for it anyway. The moment you stop giving your power away to circumstances, you start creating change. This kind of mental strength doesn't just show up overnight. It's built over time by choosing your response wisely, again and again. It's built every time you don't lash out in anger, every time you don't give up, every time you choose discipline over impulse, and with every wise response you grow, you get stronger, you get better. One of the most freeing things you can ever realize is that you are not a victim of your emotions, your situation, or your past. You're the one in the driver's seat. No matter how bad it gets, you always have a say in your next move. You always have the power to choose your mindset, your reaction, and your next step. Life might knock you down, but how you get up is up to you. That's where your real power lies, not in the world around you, but in your decision to rise anyway. You can't control everything, but you can control yourself, and when you do, nothing can truly stop you. No one is coming to save you. As harsh as that might sound, it's one of the most important truths you'll ever accept. For as long as you keep waiting for someone to discover you, to believe in you, to fix your problems, to carry your burden, you'll stay stuck. Waiting puts your life on pause. It hands over your future to other people who are too busy living their own lives to live yours. The moment you realize that it's entirely on you is the moment you start to move forward. It's natural to want support. We all want someone to recognize our value, open a door for us, or give us a break. But if that help doesn't come, and sometimes it won't, what are you going to do? Sit back and feel sorry for yourself, wait for the perfect moment or the perfect person. The truth is, that moment may never arrive. That person may never show up, and the longer you wait, the more your dreams drift away. You were not created to depend on someone else's permission to become who you are meant to be. You have the power to change your life. You have the ability to get up every day and take steps, even if they're small, toward what you want. Is it harder without support? Of course, but it's possible, and that's all you need. If it's possible, then you can work for it. You can grind for it. You can build something out of nothing. The mindset of self-responsibility isn't about being alone. It's about being in charge. You can ask for help. You can work with others, but you never wait around hoping someone else will hand you success. Because if someone has to give it to you, they can also take it away. When you build it yourself, no one can take it from you. That's why personal responsibility is so powerful. It puts the future in your hands. Think about the people you look up to, the ones who overcame the odds, who succeeded despite setbacks. They didn't sit around waiting. They acted, they failed, they learned, they kept moving. And eventually they created their breakthrough, not because someone saved them, but because they saved themselves. If you're always waiting, you'll always be behind. The doors you're hoping will open. Sometimes you have to kick them open yourself, the opportunity you're hoping someone will give you. Sometimes you have to create it from scratch. The support you're hoping will show up. Sometimes you have to be your own support until the rest follows. This isn't about being bitter or cold. It's about being real. It's about taking ownership of your life so fully that you no longer depend on anyone to do for you what you can start doing for yourself. And the beauty is, once you stop waiting, you start winning. Not because it's easy, but because you refuse to let your future sit in someone else's hands. You don't need a rescue. You need to believe in your own ability to rise. And that belief, that's where your journey truly begins. When you take ownership of your life truly, fully, you unlock a kind of power that no one can give you and no one can take away. Ownership means you stop playing the victim, you stop waiting, and you stop blaming. It means you look in the mirror and say, "It's on me," and not out of guilt, but out of strength, because if it's on you, then you have the power to do something about it. That's the shift that changes everything. Most people don't want to hear this. They'd rather believe that life is just happening to them, that they're stuck because of someone else or something they can't control. But that thinking keeps you weak. Ownership is what makes you strong. It makes you resilient. It makes you focused. It puts the steering wheel of your life back in your hands. When you own your choices, you begin to see patterns. You see where you've been holding yourself back, where you've been making excuses, where you've been giving too much power to fear or comfort. And in seeing it clearly, you can change it. You can shift your habits, your mindset, your actions. You stop reacting and start creating. Ownership doesn't mean you'll never struggle. It doesn't mean everything will go perfectly, but it does mean that you won't be derailed by failure, by criticism, or by delay. Because you know it's all part of the process. You don't quit when it gets hard. You dig in deeper. You take responsibility. You adjust, and you keep going. That's the kind of mindset that builds leaders, entrepreneurs, athletes, creators, and world changers. Not talent alone ownership. When you embrace full ownership, you start making decisions differently. You stop wasting time. You stop needing validation. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't understand your grind. You wake up with purpose, and you go to bed knowing that you gave the day your best. Not because someone told you to, but because you chose to. You hold yourself accountable because your standard is higher now. You're not doing it for applause. You're doing it because it's who you are. And here's the truth. No one else can live your life for you. No one else can chase your dream. No one else can build your discipline, your mindset, or your future. That's your job. That's your gift. And when you take it seriously, everything starts to shift. People will notice, opportunities will come, but even before that, you will feel the change. You'll carry yourself differently. You'll speak differently. You'll move with intention because you're no longer running from responsibility. You're running with it. So here's how we end this. No more blame, no more excuses, no more waiting. Starting today, it's all on you. And that's not something to fear. That's something to celebrate because if it's on you, then your success is in reach. Your dream is in play. Your breakthrough is just around the corner. Own it, live it, build it, because no one's coming to save you. But the good news, you don't need them to.